What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with our Week 9 preview and picks. As always, I got Ethan joining me this week to break down this week's games. But before we do it, we got to talk about last week. And Ethan, a great week for you. Last week going 11 and 5.
Yeah, pretty good. We're stacking some weeks here. 9-7. It's kind of having a rough start here for you. Built up a 13 game lead, but into the football games, we both took Minnesota, the Rams. We were both, I think we both took their spread as well. We like their spread, I know. And the Rams just came out and beat them. There's a lot of good games this week. What games? I don't know. Just let's you know ball. Let's hear what you got to say.
Yeah, I guess what stood out to me is the Dallas San Francisco game. I thought it would be more competitive than it was until the end. It was the George Kittle show. But I mean, I want to say the Cowboys are kind of down and out, but they're missing their three best players on defense. They have no run game, and they still competed with the 49ers and almost won in the fourth. So I think there's still some hope there for Dallas, but they got to really turn it around. And then the Washington Chicago game, obviously, the last play of the game speaks for itself. I hope I can see a rematch of that, maybe in the playoffs. That would be awesome. There'd probably be a little more scoring than there was in this game, but it was a good game, at least a good finish. And then give Denver some love. This team is quietly flying under the radar in the AFC because they're not even in first in their own division because of the Chiefs being undefeated. But the Broncos keep finding ways to win games very quietly. No really outstanding performances, but the defense is for real.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Other games that I was thinking about, Miami with the tough loss at the end there with the clutch kick, Arizona getting the clutch win there, Cincinnati just falling into a deep hole with that loss to Philadelphia, and then obviously I'm gonna cap this one off. Actually, I'll say something. Buffalo looked really good as well, and then capping off Monday Night Football with a big Steelers win. Things are just back to normal, you know what I mean, with Russ and. Hey, they might win the Super Bowl this year.
Yep. Mediocre quarterback play gets them in the playoffs every
Yep.
year with that defense. But 2 and 4 last week for me. Kyron Williams, anytime touchdown. Buffalo, Seattle under hit. Then obviously, since he lost, Green Bay won by 3. New Orleans didn't even show up. And then the Dallas San Francisco under wasn't even close.
Yeah, tough week there, tough week. And I'm creeping up. Finally, half game lead here in the locks. First off, Justin Jefferson is my only one that didn't hit. Unfortunately, he went off, but unfortunately, no touchdown there. Joe Mixon, anytime touchdown, cashed a few weeks in a row now. Indianapolis +5. Just too many points. They competed in that game. San Francisco -4. That was ended up being close, but it was a lock. Giants Pittsburgh was a lock. And then Arizona Miami was also a lock. So we're looking to build on the last couple weeks here, and hopefully you can get a few more picks right this week.
Yeah, ever since I went 6-0, it's just been down the toilet. And so hopefully we can start that over here in week 9. Like the Dallas, Atlanta under 52. Dallas and Atlanta, yeah, they can score some points, but then they can also not show up. And I think it's going to be one of those ugly 13-10 kind of games. Denver on the road, getting 9 points at Baltimore after what we just saw last week from Baltimore on the road in Cleveland. I like the 9 there. Same with Carolina. I think Carolina in New Orleans is going to be a fist fight. Literally, I think it's going to be a 7-6 kind of ball game. So I like the 7.5. The Chargers 1.5 at Cleveland. I get Jameis had a good performance last week, but I don't think 2 weeks in a row is going to happen. So I like the -1.5. And then Green Bay +3.5 versus Detroit. Those games always go back and forth. It always comes down to the wire. So I wouldn't be shocked if either team wins by a field goal. And then the Tampa, Kansas City, both those defenses kind of are getting gashed right now. And when you have Baker absolutely throwing darts out there these last few weeks, and Mahomes had his best week last week of the year, I definitely like the over this week on points.
All right, and over to my picks, we got Bijan Robinson, anytime touchdown against the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, from what you said, that might not be, he might score the only touchdown. So
Uh-huh.
hopefully
You
he
could.
gets that touchdown. DK, anytime touchdown against the Rams. The secondary for the Rams has been pretty bad, and DK has been pretty quiet. I think this is the week where he'll get in the end zone. Washington -3.5, just a way better team. I think offensively, they're just gonna light them up. And then Raiders +7. Bengals aren't playing very good. So I like the Raiders and the points. Detroit, Green Bay over 48.5. Like you said, they're always getting down to the wire. I think 24-24, right around that range. That's a cat easy over. And then Indianapolis, Minnesota over 46.5. Both or Minnesota's defense is pretty good, but with Flacco, score a lot of points. And then Indianapolis defense kind of sucks. So
Yeah,
there
and
you
want to talk about kind of sucks. The Jets team kind of sucks and
Yeah,
they're favored at
they
home
suck.
against the Texans. Now, I think everybody in the world is going to be taking Houston -2 or Houston +2 and Houston money line here. So
Oh
maybe
yeah.
Vegas knows something we don't here. And the Jets obviously need a win more than ever, but I just don't see how that happens the way they're playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of just, it's just absolutely wild that the Texans are dogs here. Yeah, I know the Jets they need a win here, but it's just like you said, I just haven't seen it on the field. And the Texans are playing good. I know Stephon Diggs, unfortunately, with the ACL injury, he's out for the year. But I do like the Texans still, and I don't think it really hurts them too much. They played well without Diggs last year, so I think they're gonna keep rolling.
Yeah, they're moving to Sunday. Like I said, this Cowboys Falcons game, not a lot of points going to be scored. So I like the Falcons because they're at home and Kirk Chains finally has those boys playing really good. I like Bijan here in a good matchup. If the Cowboys rush defense doesn't play, meaning Micah and Lawrence from the side, it's going to be tough to stop Bijan. So
Yeah.
regardless if they don't play or if they do play, I still think Bijan's going to be the key factor here and the Falcons get a win.
Yeah, I'm with you here. I think the Falcons will win and cover even. Cowboys just haven't played well. And it's desperate time. And if they were in Dallas, I think I'd be picking Dallas. But Atlanta playing hot, like you said, with Kirkio. Drake London's playing like a top three receiver. And like you said, Bijan, I don't even think the O line needs to play good. Just Bijan is just, and he's just so quick. So I think he's going to go off this week. Anytime touchdown, lock it in, plus the Falcons.
Yeah, and then I'm actually taking not just the +9 in Denver, but the Broncos money line, I guess you could say here. I like the Broncos
Crazy.
to win this game. My first upset pick of the week, and I say this kind of with some confidence, and I think this is the game where Bo Nix makes a statement that he's going to be an elite quarterback for the next few years. And I wasn't really high on him coming into the league, but what he's done in the first 7 games under Sean Payton, in the offense that have struggled in recent years with trying to find their quarterback. I think they finally got one. And I think Bo Nix is going to make a name for himself here this week in Baltimore.
Yeah, and Baltimore's defense has not been good, but I'm just banking Ravens at home, coming off a rough loss to Cleveland and Jameis. I just think this is must-win territory here. I hope they lose. Honestly, I don't care about this pick at all when it comes to the Steelers winning the North, but and the Broncos, like you said, gonna give credit to the Broncos. But I think this is when the Ravens defense steps up here and Lamar, obviously, Derrick Henry, it's just too much for the Broncos to stop, I think.
And then here we got Miami, Buffalo. I might have took Miami if they would have won last week in Tua's return, but they still can't find a way to win, and it's cause for concern for Miami. Now I get they're 2-5, definitely not out of the playoff race, that's for sure.
Not
But
yet.
but they got to win this game if they want to even have a chance to sniff the playoffs at this point in the season. Don't see it happening. Bills are rolling. Keon Coleman looks like a true wide receiver one now since they've acquired Amari Cooper. So give me the Bills here at home.
Yeah, give me the Bills as well. Look really good. Dolphins, desperate times, like you said, but I mean, I think if you're the Bills, you go pedal to the metal here and basically almost wrap up this division with how the rest of this division's played. So Bills are going to be playing hard. I think they're going to solidify a win here, and Josh Allen's going to be just throwing darts to Keon Coleman all day.
And then a game I couldn't care less to talk about.
Bulldogs.
We're only gonna because I took the Panthers, and I think they can find a way to win this game because the Saints are playing just as bad.
Yeah, I'm taking the Saints though. Just the Panthers have been playing terrible. Same with the Saints. I mean, neither. I'm just never watching this game, so you don't even need to hear the rest.
Nope. And you want to talk about never hearing this? I think you could say never hearing that the Raiders are 2-6 and the Bengals are 3-5 at this point in the season. I think everyone thought the Raiders, including myself, would be 4-4 or better because they do have a solid team there. But the Bengals, I think probably a lot of people would say maybe they're at worst 5-3 at this point coming into the season, but it's the other way around. And must win week for the Bengals if they want to have any chance of not even winning the division, just a chance to get into the wild card round.
Yeah, it's a must win for the Bengals, but I feel like the Raiders always play them well, so that's why I took the +7. I think it'll be a close game, but the Bengals need a win, and obviously we're both picking the Bengals. They're just They're way more talented, and they're not putting it together right now. But they have more. They have Burrow. They got Joe Burrow and those offensive guys. So if T Higgins plays, especially, Bengals should win this one.
And I think this is going to be a great game. Give me the Chargers on the road. Obviously, I took them to 1.5, so got to take the Chargers here. And I think Ladd McConkey last week, his breakout game continues against this Browns team. Herbert's playing really well. And the run game kind of was non-existent last week, but I think the Chargers are going to find a way to get that more involved so the passing game can be more open. The Chargers defense is very good. I think it's better than the Ravens defense at this point in the season, if we're going to be honest. And I think the Browns stumble here at home.
Yeah, I think with Jameis coming in, it's going to be interesting. He's going to throw a lot. He's going to have a lot of turnovers, but he's also going to allow the Browns offense to actually move the ball down the field, which they haven't been able to do. And I think with the Chargers offense, they finally got going last week, but overall, I think this is a good matchup for the Browns, and I think it'll be a low-scoring game. And I think the Browns are going to pull out with it again and get on a little mini win streak here.
Yeah, and then I talk about a win streak. You got the Commanders last week's performance, obviously against the Bears. Got to mention that again. The Hail Mary. They keep finding ways to win ball games, and now Jane Daniels gets another week to rest his rib. I like the Commanders here at home. The Giants really haven't shown me anything of much in the last few weeks. That Daniel Jones is probably going to not be their quarterback next year. That's kind of the only thing that I'm kind of seeing on both these teams, NFC South or NFC East are trending in two different directions. So give me the Commanders here by 1 million.
Yeah, and while we're here with the Commanders, I recently took a couple weeks ago, I put in a bet for Jaden Daniels MVP, so we're hoping for that. That'd be really cool. 6-2, Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. I think they're going to take care of business here at home.
Yeah, and another game probably no one's going to watch or talk about. I'm going to go with the Titans here at home because they need to win more than the Patriots.
Yeah, and also you're a Titans fan. I mean, I think they're a little bit better than the Patriots. Just have a little bit more offensive firepower. Calvin Ridley finally wakes up a little bit, and so they look a little bit better. So give me the Titans.
And moving to the 4 o'clock games, huge game for NFC playoff implications. I know it's only week 9, but these games matter at the end of the year. And you got two teams kind of right where we thought they would be at this point in the season. I do like the Bears and what they're building there, but I just think that the Cardinals are a little hotter team right now, playing with a chip on their shoulder. Ever since Kyler signed the Call of Duty Black Ops deal, they're 2-0. So the allegations are, no more. So give me the Cardinals here, getting to 5-4, and if they win this game, they're still going to be leading the NFC West through 9 weeks. I don't think too many people thought that'd be happening.
I mean, I don't know about thought that would happen, but I did take the Cardinals to make the playoffs, and big on the Cardinals this offseason, so I'll take some credit there. I think they're going to win here with the Bears' big stumble. It's time for them to. It's big. It's a big game for them, and I don't know. The Bears are good. I think their defense is going to play really well in this game, but I just trust the Cardinals' offense slightly more.
Yeah, and I think this game kind of makes too much sense here for the Eagles to, I don't want to say blow them out, but run away with it literally. And
Like literally run.
you got Saquon, so they're probably going to do that. Expect a big game out of Saquon. But man, we got to stop eliminating these tush pushes at the one because I lost in fantasy last week because of 3 stupid tush pushes. I mean, it's good for the Eagles. I mean, it's great for the game. If you can't beat them, you can just keep running it. But when you're playing
Yeah.
in fantasy, it's not fun.
Yeah, unfortunately, not everyone's playing Jalen Hurts in fantasy, so they don't care about that as much, unfortunately. But I feel you there. Sometimes it hurts, but I do think the Eagles will win and Saquon will run away with it, just like you said.
And then moving to the 425 games, huge game out west. And I think this game is going to have a lot of eyes on it. I like the Rams here because what Stafford did last week against the Vikings, top 5 defense at the time, I think he can have a repeat performance on the road against the Seahawks. And, both these teams fighting for the NFC West top seed, playoff spot, obviously, as well. And the Rams have Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua back, and we saw what they are capable of when they're both on the field. And Stafford, I think, is going to light up this Seahawks defense. And, I thought they would be really good, the Seahawks defense, but they've really kind of hit a lapse here these last few weeks.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks are gonna actually win this game at home. It's gonna be a very difficult crowd for the Rams, and it's gonna be a close game. But with the way the Seahawks played last week, I can't see another letdown performance at home. So Big divisional game. I think Kenneth Walker's going to show up again, DK, and all the Seahawks, all the boys in Seattle. So I'm taking Seattle here. I trust them slightly more this week.
Then obviously the biggest game of the week, not only for me, but for probably the NFL, Lions Packers, huge game at the 425 slate. Obviously, I'm going with my Packers at home. Jordan Love questionable to play, but all signs are pointing to he is going to play through his quad injury. And if he does, if he doesn't, they're going to have to run the ball and beat him, and Malik Willis is going to have to step in. But he's been great as a backup and probably one of the best backups you can have this year. But Jordan Love, if he's playing, hopefully they can throw the ball deep on this Lions team. And I get the Lions just scored 52 against the Titans, but anyway, the Packers are going to win this game. It's going to have to be under 28.
Yeah, they're going to have to stop him. I just don't think they're going to be able to. I mean, the Lions offense has been rolling lately. Ben Johnson's going to be a new head coach next year. It's probably a guarantee. It's just the Lions are just rolling right now, and the Packers defense is stepping up. This game is going to be really good. This is going to be the game of the week, but I just can't pick against the Lions here. I think they've looked better, and I know it's in Green Bay, and I could see Green Bay winning, but since I'm just picking the game, I'm not putting any money on it. I'm taking the Lions.
Then the 8 o'clock game, Colts, Vikings. Obviously, the Colts today announcing that Anthony Richardson is not only benched for this game, but benched for the rest of the year. And
Wait,
you didn't know
what was
that?
that? No, I mean I knew he was benched, but why was he
Yeah,
benched?
no, he's benched for the rest of the year. I didn't know. I thought you knew that. But I think it's great because, Tom Brady's always said it before the year started, and he's said it since he's retired that these rookie quarterbacks aren't really getting developed. It's kind of coaching them where they're at. And learning under Flacco, I think is going to be great for Richardson. Obviously last year he learned under Minshew, which is so-so. But learning under Flacco, a guy that's been in the league for what? 17 years, I think it is, 15 years, something like that.
Yeah.
He knows few things, and this offense looks better under Flacco than it does Richardson. So it's kind of hard for me, honestly, to pick against the Colts here in this one because I know what the Colts are capable of. But the Vikings desperately need a win after going 5-0 and losing their last two. The offense still looks good. And if there was a face mask called, maybe this team would be 6-1 at this point.
Absolutely. I think the Colts look better with Flacco, and as a Michael Pittman fantasy owner and a Donnie Mitchell, I'm pretty happy that they have Joe Flacco back. This Colts defense is not very good, which is why I think the Vikings are going to win this one at home. I almost picked the Colts in this one as well, but I do think the Vikings will win a close one at home. This is going to be one of the more entertaining Sunday night football games, I think, of the year.
Yeah, and the Monday Night Football, obviously I took the over in this one, and I think this one, fireworks are going to be going back and forth. And I think this could end up being one of those 34-31 type games. Just the way these two teams are playing right now, throwing the ball around the field. Mahomes looked better last week. Like I said, Kelsey had his career game of the or season best game
Mhm.
last week. And even without Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, Cade Otton looks like he's going to be a stud for the near future under Baker. So glad I picked him up in fantasy and spent a decent amount of fab money on him in some leagues. So good toot my own horn there. Good job, me. But Cade Otton, as long as he's still healthy, he's the clear-cut wide receiver one, even though he's the tight end. But it's gonna be tough to stop him because the Chiefs really haven't had to stop a very high throwing offense this year.
Yeah, I agree with you on the. I do think Baker's going to be able to throw it a little bit, and he's going to be able to spread it around. But I'm taking the Chiefs, and I think the Chiefs are going to be able to stop the run, which is going to put more pressure on Baker. He's going to make a couple mistakes, and the Chiefs. Doesn't matter who's the running back. He's going to score a touchdown because that's just how they play. And Mahomes is going to play just good football, and they're going to get another win. 8-0. That's crazy.
I mean, when are they going to lose? I mean, if you look at their schedule, there's a chance they could definitely go undefeated.
Yeah,
But we'll see
absolutely.
if they're still undefeated this time next week when you guys come back and view how we did last week and obviously break down next week's games. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.